Welcome, everybody. This is episode 1, 2022 Kingdom of R.A.M, Regional Access for More. Today's program is going to be about freedom, evil, and the state of the world. So, I want to illustrate the most important thing first is, you know what? The only way we're going to deliver ourselves from the evil banking cartel that runs this world is to enlighten ourselves. Personal enlightenment is everything. Without our engagement in becoming enlightened beings, we'll never beat the other side. So, I want to introduce to you what's considered one of the most important spiritual books of our century, probably the most important spiritual book of our century. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yoganandaji. This book is available all over the world in many languages. You can find it at Self-Realization Fellowship. But don't be confused. The Self-Realization Fellowship is a bit of a compromised organization, shall we say. The real deal, if you want to deal in the purity and the light of the Holy Masters, you want to deal with the Kriya Yoga Institute in Homestead, Florida. And their other main temple is in Puri, India. And you can get not only all of the original sacred writings, the Bhagavad Gita, the Chandi, which is the feminine aspect of God, and all of the original Sanskrit writings in whatever language you want, very well explained. And none of this nonsense written by intellectual white people who think they have a handle on spirituality and have none. This is the real deal, written by enlightened gurus. So, it is no accident that we live in this planet of defeated population. It is no accident that this planet is mismanaged in the most horrible manner that you can imagine to bring us to the construct of where we are today. It's completely a manufactured situation and mismanaged situation by the banking cartel of the world, the Masonic Order, the Catholic Church, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Carnegies, Mellons, Morgans, etc., etc., etc. You know, there's about 500 families with titles of nobilities from colonial Europe and America that have basically controlled things for many centuries, continue to do so. And it's a hideous situation that this planet is in. You can follow this history over and over. It's, really documented many places over many years. People talk about the conspiracy theory and how ridiculous conspiracy theory people are. You know what, my friends? The conspiracy is absolute, always has been, for many, many, many centuries. And anybody who discusses that in any other context is an imbecile, hasn't done their homework, and is simply ignorant beyond scope. So, I've never been one to be the most politically astute person on the planet. However, and I understand young people's affinity to not give a shit about politics. I really didn't care too much about politics in my first 30 years of being. But we live in a time, but I always kept my ear to the ground and listened to alternative news and tried to figure out what was really going on behind the state-sponsored regular media, news media, that has always been censored in this country, especially regarding anything of high security. So it doesn't surprise me that young people really don't have much taste for this. However, at this point in time, man, this is like Hitler taking over the whole world. And that's exactly what's going to happen if we do not stand in the way and organize. Enlighten ourselves. Rise above the enemy. Go over their heads, man. You can do this. Go over their heads. And then you can be a force that can basically replace this artificial system of imposing monopoly and evil government. So, again, I can't emphasize enough Autobiography of a Yogi and the Kriya Yoga Institute, Homestead, Florida. They have not only the library of all the ancient Sanskrit writings, but they have in just about every major U.S. city in the spring and the fall an initiation program. It's a weekend, and you come, and the Bubbas come, and they explain everything they're going to do, answer all your questions, and then they basically wash your feet, they flip your third eye up, they open your crown chakra, they energize all your other chakras, they show you the little 9 yoga moves that go with the meditation, and you're well on your way, if you practice this an hour every day, to improving yourself to the highest degree. Let me look at my notes here a minute. So, yeah, it doesn't matter what department or facet of government that you look at, whether it's the educational department, the agricultural department, the forest service, the health services, WHO, CDC, any of them and all of them, they're all dirty, and they're all into regulating anything healthy, anything real, anything that has to do with advancing humanity out of existence, whether it's the Department of Energy, U.S. military, everything is dirty. It's, and what people don't understand is, I think we live in a country of laws. Oh, we do. But the entire legal system is based in fraud. It's based on the usurpation of all your natural rights and all your natural freedoms, your inalienable freedoms given to you by God. So why does land and houses and whatnot cost money? Well, because we're given a planet with lots of free land, but what do we have to do? We have to be raped by a bank in order to get a piece of it. That's ridiculous. It should be everyone's birthright to have a piece of land. Houses, yeah, they cost money because it costs a lot of money to build a house, a lot of expertise, a lot of skill, and a lot of materials. So that part makes sense. But having to pay for the land we're given free, that makes no sense. So, solutions. You can look at the history of modern saints, whether it's Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. These people left their imprint on humanity, and thank God they've made us a better place. If nothing else, they've allowed us to question our blinders, our blind spots, and to question our hearts, and to explore what's right in the world and what's wrong in the world, and our prejudices. And frankly, there's no place for any kind of racism in this world, ever. There's no place for any kind of prejudice in this world, ever. What there is a place in this world where we emulate those leaders, those spiritual leaders who have spoken truth, who have given us a root and a foundation to work from. And that is where we can all heal ourselves, and grow ourselves out of this obnoxious situation we're in. The root of all of our problems right now is not just ignorance and unenlightenment, but it's the fact that, we live in an overpopulated world. As hard as humans are on this planet, we should probably only have 500 million people on this planet, 500 million. And that would probably be an ecologically sustainable number for many, many, many tens of thousands of years. But the fact that we've got 8 billion plus people now, it's got to be remedied. I'm not sure what the answer is. I don't pretend to be sure what the answer is. But I do think that there needs to be a civilized manner to address this. And it's probably not just civilized, but a voluntary manner to address this. The government of China was the only government that ever took this serious. And frankly, I'm sure no advocate of communism nor China as government in any capacity, let me be clear. But I have to say, there's a facet that every government, and every couple, and every person needs to look at. Are we going to have one child to replace one of our parents, reducing the population in half? Are we going to have more? Are we going to have less? Are we going to have none? You need to search your soul, man, and look at these items, because if we could all, for 100 to 200 years voluntarily reduce our population down sustainable levels, then we can have a nice world. And we won't have to destroy the entire biodome that we live in, the plants, the animals, the insects, so that we would no longer be a threat to everything, including ourselves, and especially ourselves. Lemmings have a cool thing. They breed and they breed and they breed. And when they hit a period of overpopulation, they run off the cliff and drown themselves. Kind of a smart idea for a little rodent, I would say. So I'm not suggesting we emulate the rodents or the lemmings, but we do need to find a solution to this, and it may not be found in a state or church-inspired manner, but it must be found within our own actions. And if you don't take actions, in the world, then you're simply subject to. And being a follower is not really where it's at. Being a leader is. So I'm going to say that we have a couple monks coming here to Tucson, and I'm in Tucson, Arizona, by the way. Have been for 30 years. We have some monks coming on January 6th, 7th, and 8th, and the orientation is on a Friday, the 6th. For just an hour or two, just to sort people out and explain what's going on. Saturday morning, you show up about 8:30, you bring 7 ripe fruits, 7 flowers, and then sit down with the Bubbas, they explain everything what's going on, and then they'll initiate you, and then you can have lunch with them, sit next to them, talk to them, answer any questions. And really beautiful people, all of them that I've met, and I've met quite a few. And after that, you go ahead and you practice in the afternoon what they taught you in the morning, and then you can have dinner with them. And then the next day, you show up again in the morning, practice what you learned the previous day, have lunch, and then you can go home or stay for an afternoon practice and again have dinner with them. So I invite anybody within earshot or eyeshot of this video and the Kingdom of R.A.M website to come be with us on January 7th and 8th. And if you are elsewhere, look in your cities for the Kriya Yoga Institute and when they have their initiations. And you can be, again, initiated into the light of the Holy Masters. Here's the book. Again, I would highly recommend as your first step in the direction of you. Here's a great book. Explains America's problem, its addiction to war. How at the time of this writing that we had invaded a country for every year of our existence, some of them 2 and 3 times, just goes to show you the nature of the industrial military complex and what a problem it is. War is an obsolete concept, has been for a long time. We don't have resources for war. We don't have resources to feed our people. How are we going to have war? So the entire endeavor of R.A.M is to organize you, me, and us into an effective force of light to build a parallel and better world to what we are presently offered. Can't do this alone, can do it with your help, and that's what I'm asking. So, if you'd like to speak with me, you'd like to have some input, you'd like to volunteer your anything, call me. I really prefer phone calls so I can get a good handle on who you are, what your needs, wants, and desires might be. I'm at 520-474-8816. That's 520-474-8816. And let us be a force of light and make this world a better place. Thank you. Blessings. Om Tat Sat.